everybody, welcome to another week here on the podcast. Hope you're all doing well out there. I'm not this week on my own, and this is actually take 2 of this week's podcast because we did record this podcast last night, but when it came to the time to actually edit it and putting it on to the YouTube channel, which you're listening to us on right now, the file became corrupt and I had to re-record it again. So we're sitting here on a Thursday evening. I'm going to say we. I mean myself and this young dude, Lewis. You're finally decided to come on to the podcast for the first time since, I think, since last summer, whenever we were in Liverpool.
The one since, what was it called? The podcast before you even came back.
Yeah, in Liverpool last summer. But yeah, guys, welcome back to the podcast for another week. Take 2 of this. Now you have to excuse me. I'm starting to get a bit of a cold. So if my voice starts to sound a bit husky or you hear me sniffling quite a bit, I do apologise, because when I woke up today to start recording the vlog today, which is actually 2 parts today, by the way. There's 2 vlogs up there at the minute. So yeah, when I woke up today, I started feeling a bit rough around the edges. Well, when I say when I woke up this morning, I actually started feeling a little bit. I felt okay this morning. And as soon as I got back home from taking Lewis to school, I started feeling a bit sniffly, and I was like, oh god, here we go. I'm starting to get a little bit sick here, which sucks, but unfortunately, what can you do? You get the cold, there's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, guys, on this week's podcast, we're going to be talking to Lewis here about, we didn't do a podcast last week, Lewis, because we didn't get enough time. Obviously really busy and stuff. If you watch the vlogs on this channel, guys, you'll know yourself, but it's been a week of travelling once again for European football, Champions League football, to Liverpool. We're going to talk about Lewis's birthday. It's happened 2 weeks ago as well. We also had a restaurant disaster. Lewis also getting late birthday gifts. Our April Fool's prank that we pulled, that was quite fun. We've had, my goodness me, what else has happened? We've went and visited family in the countryside. As I said, I was away there. We had WrestleMania 27.
I wasn't in.
We've had a lot of different things going on. Also, I've had cancellations of flights as well, which I want to talk about Flybe airline, who I flew with 2 days ago, should we say. So let's get into it. Obviously, you're not going to sit on the podcast long tonight because obviously you got to go to bed soon, because tomorrow, Friday, we're off to Dublin. Are you excited for Dublin?
Yes, I cannot wait.
Another Liverpool Legends game.
Oh, yes.
Liverpool Legends versus Republic of Ireland Legends in Dublin. Yeah. Your Granda and me and your goal.
One thing I'm looking forward to is seeing more like Steven Gerrard and all again.
I don't even know why Gerrard's making an appearance now.
I hope so.
No, I just took a cup of drink of tea there. You maybe before the podcast was switched on here before I pushed the record button, and I must say it's actually quite a good cup of tea. Keeps me going. But anyway, yes, let's talk about your birthday. Now, I did read a lot of birthday messages on the vlog, and you did say you wanted to say a thank you to everybody who sent birthday messages, because you did receive like loads.
Yeah, I did. Thank you for everybody who sent me a birthday message. Sorry if I couldn't read everybody's out.
Well, you read most of them, but you couldn't read them all out on the vlog because there was that many. But again, you got loads.
Probably like hundreds and hundreds.
You did get your birthday present early though. We did take you to Liverpool for the Legends weekend.
That is an early birthday present. Plus I got what's it called, the Burnley game. Exactly,
which you had fun. You were singing at the top of the cop, singing your heart out. Remember those people behind us? They were from Germany or something like that. They were like, "My goodness, does he sing this all the time?" I was like, "Well, when he comes, yeah, but not that often."
Yeah, that's they were like that. And wasn't the people behind us took a photo of us that day?
That's right. The ones on my new Instagram page.
They were just like really nice to us that day.
They were lovely. But our trip to Liverpool for your birthday was good fun.
Oh yes.
But overall, did you have a good birthday?
Yeah.
Double figures now?
Yeah, but I feel a bit old.
You're only 10. I feel old. Oh, crow.
I feel like 60.
May I feel today? Honestly, I feel about 60.
Yeah.
But I think the most part of your birthday, which wasn't that good at all, was the day after your birthday, whenever we all went out for a family dinner to the place that you chose.
I don't think it was a disaster. I think it was good.
Hang on, you're just contradicting yourself again. Now, this is the story, guys. We asked Lewis where he wanted to go for his birthday. Now, our favourite restaurant where we live is called Blue Chicago, which serves unbelievable food. And I want to say, I'm not just giving them a plug, and they don't sponsor this podcast or anything, But Blue Chicago's food is epic.
Boo.
For some reason, Lewis doesn't. Well, he likes some of it, not at all.
Get the drinks.
Nah, well, you would say that. But anyway,
I only get
Lewis, we asked Lewis for his birthday, where would you like to go for your birthday? And Lewis says this place just across the road from there called Tony Macaroni's, which is like an Italian type restaurant. So we said, right, okay, let's go. Let's go and try this place out. Mum and Dad, Mum were trying to convince you, Lewis, weren't they, not to go?
Yeah, but I hate Blue Chicago.
You don't hate it, you like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, you do.
I don't like it. All I like is it just because they're the proper people who make the juice, not the people who make the food. I don't like them.
He does. He's
I
only.
do.
This is where you contradicted yourself, and this is where I want to talk about it on the podcast here. We went to Tony Macaroni's, and the food was horrible.
No.
Let me finish the story. The story was, now it's in the vlog, so you can't contradict what you said. But anyway, let's get to the point. The point was, the food, in our opinion, apart from Lewis, of course, because Lewis was eating his favorite food, pizza. We thought the food was horrible. Now, you see it in the vlog whenever we come out of the restaurant, where I asked everybody for their opinion on it. Dad pretended to be sick. What's Granda like? Nuts.
He's nuts, but here's something for granted. Dilly.
There's a little thing. Where do you get that from?
An advert of beer.
Ah, is that what it is? There's like an English beer advertised on English TV on the UK here, and have we saying they go dilly or something to say? Or, yeah, I don't know what it is, and him and my dad say them amongst themselves. But anyway, back to the story. Go to a restaurant, and Lewis was the only person said he liked it, and then the next day we were on the train, and you went, "Oh, I don't like it." I didn't like it, and I went, "Is that right?" And I done a flashback on it with the night before. He was standing outside and says, "I did like it," no, blah blah blah. So he kind of contradicted himself. But the bottom line in this story was, guys, excuse me while I sniffle. The food was horrible. We didn't like it.
I liked it.
I went onto their Facebook page to try and leave a review on the actual experience being there, and a lot of people, I would say about 95% of the reviews were all terrible. Even the staff were terrible. They were very, very rude, very slow. Oh yeah, they were. Even your granda was starting to lose the will to live with one of the guys because he was very, very obnoxious and very rude. It was just his attitude, Lewis. It stunk. And at one point, Granda asked him a question, and he just stood there and shrugged his shoulders. So Granda wasn't very happy either. But apart from the birthday dinner disaster, you had a good birthday.
Yes.
Good. Happy days. Now, I did make a bit of an announcement, guys, last week, which I wanted to announce in the podcast last week, but I didn't actually get around to doing it. Now, a lot of you guys out there know that obviously we do daily vlogs and stuff like that there, and I've done a bit of work in the Irish League, and I've done a bit of this and a bit of that, and a bit of videography and stuff like that. And obviously our live reaction videos, Lewis, from Liverpool games have been getting very, very popular.
Yes, they have.
So they have. So, I got contacted by a local TV station in Liverpool who have asked me to do like a review of the Liverpool games, like preview the games as well, talk about the season, upcoming games, players, news, transfers, things like that. And the station asked me to contribute towards the station by asking me to send them across a video, maybe once, twice, 3 times a week, talking about big news, talking about the match coming up, and also more. And I said, okay, certainly no problem at all. And I used to do stuff like this years ago for a TV station on Sky called Sports Direct Live, or not Sports Direct Live, Sports Tonight Live, Sports Direct Live, Sports Direct, never did it on a TV station. Sports Tonight Live, they're called. They used to be on Sky, and I used to go onto their TV channel quite regularly and talk with the likes of Darren Lewis from the Daily Mirror, Perry Groves, ex-Arsenal player, and many more ex-football players, and talk live on TV and do like my thoughts on like Liverpool and stuff like that there. So again, I've been asked to do this thing for it's called Liverpool TV. They're on what do you call it, on Sky in the sort of Merseyside, middle of the area of the UK. They're also on Sky Freeview, and they're also online as well, guys. You want to go and check out their channel and watch it. It's basically a TV station to do in the local area, where it gives you all your news, things going on in the city, you know, TV programs, you know, all there. It's a basic TV channel, and they've asked me to do this, and I've been doing it now for about 2 weeks, and it's great because the relationship, those guys over there are fantastic. They're really, really good, And the most recent video I done was whenever I was in Anfield there 2 nights ago. And I want to thank Liverpool local TV for that there, Merseyside Live as well. They're very, very nice people. And thank you for the opportunity, guys. Really do appreciate it. So, yeah, make sure you check them out because they are really, really a good TV station, especially if you're a Liverpool fan. And I've been doing a lot of videos from stuff like that there. So, they found our live reaction video from it was actually the Bayern Munich game. Sorry, I've just dropped something in the background. They found our Bayern Munich live reaction video on YouTube, and they asked me to contribute. So I was kind of like, yeah, definitely, why not? So anyway, that was my big announcement that week. But Lewis, I know obviously talked about your birthday being over and stuff like that there, but you did get some late presents as well after your birthday.
Yes, I did.
Like, you received birthday cards, you received other presents, especially from our good friends from Lisburn.
Oh yes, they were the best presents.
Yes. Shout out to Liz, Matthew, and Garth, who didn't have to, but they got Lewis late birthday gifts.
Uh huh.
Do you want to tell them what they got you?
Uh huh. They got me a new Chicago Blackhawks hat and what's it called, a £15 Nintendo eShop card.
Isn't that unbelievable? So Liz and Matthew, I know Matthew listens to the podcast. Matthew, young man, if you're listening to the podcast, thank you so much to yourself and your mum for the gift, and also Gareth, or Gaza as we call him.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the gift, because Lewis really did enjoy his gifts a lot. Now, also since the last podcast as well, guys, it was Mother's Day, so hope all you mums out there had a great Mother's Day as well. Now, Lewis, let's talk about the big thing that we pulled on the station, or about a week or so ago we pulled. This is obviously recorded on the 11th, so it was about 11 days ago. The day before, you and your sister were coming back from Mum and Dad's one night, and you suggested a prank to the viewers.
Oh yes.
They come up with an idea like, Dad, let's prank the viewers for April Fool's Day. Now people say, oh, it's up till 12 o'clock, but because it's on YouTube, guys, the YouTube thing works is all different time zones around the world. So basically April Fool's Day in so many ways like lasts most of the day, because obviously the time differences all throughout the world, because we get viewers in like the States, Australia, all around the world and stuff like that. So, but anyway, you guys came up with a great idea, didn't you?
Yeah, where we would tell the viewers that we're leaving YouTube.
And the reaction we got was phenomenal.
Yes.
Brooke says, Dad, let's get back at the haters and let's prank the viewers who support us as well. And I says, what do you want to do? He says, let's sit down and make a video where we tell them that we're leaving YouTube. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, let's tell them we're leaving YouTube. And I'm like, are you mad? They'll go nuts. And it's like, but that's the whole point, Dad. So we did, didn't we?
Yes.
The reaction we got was awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for all your love and support towards that, because it was actually really funny, guys. Go and check it out on the channel. It's called We're Leaving YouTube. It's really, really, really fun. So it is. Also, guys, recently we went down to my uncle and your great uncle's house.
Yes.
And my auntie's house, away out in the middle of nowhere, out the countryside, away in the middle of nowhere, to visit family this past week. What a house!
Oh, what a house! We're like,
it was like something like Cribs from MTV.
Yeah, and it looks like it's like a big, massive like bungalow.
It's not even like it looks like a mansion compared to our house.
Yeah,
so we went, had a wee trip down the countryside, drove around the countryside. We saw goats, sheep, dogs, cows, horses. What else did we see? We seen pretty much everything down there.
I was in a sports car.
Correct, you were in a sports car.
You should have came out and see it.
I didn't see you in it, but no, we didn't do any vlogging inside the house because obviously I had respect for my uncle and my auntie and stuff like that there. But I want to thank them obviously for letting us come down and obviously spend a bit of time in their house and stuff, because we had a really great time, guys. If we ever do go down there again and they would let us vlog in their house or whatever, certainly, you know, because where they live is, it's like a dream home, so it is.
Yeah, it'd be like us. I would love to live in there actually.
I know, but it said to Brooke, and she was like, oh, it's way in the country, but if I had a car it'd be different. But no, it was good. So it was really nice down there visiting family and obviously catching them up. Also this past week as well, Brooke came home with a really strange looking model from school, didn't she?
Oh yes.
What was that all about?
I don't know.
There was a backstory. There was a lot of haters coming to me and goes, "Oh, it's crap." And there, guys, seriously, she's 13 years of age. You know, it was made that way because there's a specific backstory to it. You know what I mean? And that's the reason why it was like that. But fair play to her for
apparently this guy made it when he was a kid.
It's all to do with the backstory. Now I don't really know the full backstory to it. As I take a drink of tea here, just a sec.
That's all I know about it is whenever apparently it was a guy who made it when he was a kid. Now it's very famous.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it was a cool model. It sits in our living room now, proudly on our sideboard in our living room. So fair play to Brooke for
trying to make it
for making it, and she showed me about it. And she went online and had a look online and stuff, and she was telling me the story of it, and it's pretty cool. So fair play to her. But one final thing I want to talk to you about, Lewis, before I let you go. Before the end of it, before I let you go, before I continue the podcast on my own, the Belfast Giants.
Oh yes.
The Belfast Giants, guys, won the league, elite league champions, to go alongside the conference title and also the Challenge Cup title. Now they are starting the playoffs coming up very soon, so can they do a full clean sweep? But the most important thing is, Lewis and I went to the games the weekend before where they won the Friday and Saturday night. You saw it in the vlog, guys, if you have watched it. But the Giants basically had to sit in a hotel at the awards night on the Sunday night and wait for the results from the Cardiff Coventry game. And Lewis and I couldn't get to the awards night because of different reasons why, but long story short, the Giants were dependent on Coventry to beat Cardiff, and they did, and the Giants won the league. Okay, a little bit too excited there, but I was expecting the guy, yeah, Dallas is great, but not a whole yo. But anyway, the Giants won. Lewis, we've been going to, I think we've been to 98% of the home games this season. I think we missed maybe 3 or 4 this whole season.
Yeah, 2 or 3 basically.
Yeah. What a season. Won
the league, won the Challenge Cup, and the conference title.
And could win the playoffs too.
And we could win the playoffs. This is going to be we've already won the triple already.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about the season briefly before you go. What a season. I mean, when we first started going to we've been to the Giants obviously loads of times in the past, but now that this is our first full season as a season ticket holder, we've met new friends. We've met, staff, viewers. We've met all these different people throughout the last year. Met loads of players.
We've met Keith.
I want to meet the goaltender or the netminder.
Oh, yes. We left at the wrong time.
Hold on, you have met Bescaroni. You got your photograph taken. He's on my phone.
Is he? Did I?
Yes, you did.
When?
A lot of weeks ago.
Okay. One thing. We left at the wrong time.
Well, we had to go home, guys, the other night when they were presented with the league trophy. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's talk about the season. I mean, the friends that we've made over the last year. I mean, I can name a few. Trish, if you're listening. Simone.
Yes.
Emma. Lisa.
Trish's daughter.
Kellyanne. All the ones from the Boomerang Corner. Also, Trevor, the guy does. Trevor does the 50. Sells sells the pucks.
Lisa.
He said Lisa.
No, what's her name? Liz.
There's so many to name,
Liz,
isn't there?
Matthew, Galva.
Yep. There's so many to name. All the ones in our season ticket.
And much more.
The ones we sit with our season ticket, where we sit for our season ticket.
Yes.
All those people there.
And
the couple.
Elderly woman.
Yes, a couple sits behind us too as well. Yeah. Also, you've made a good friend in Lucas, young Lucas, who the Giants always give away free gifts every game, where it's you can win a free pizza or free cookies or whatever. And him and Lucas are always down trying to win stuff and all together. Young lad sits beside us where we are, him and his mum and his partner and stuff like that. And I've only actually got to speak to his mum there at the end of the last 2 games of the regular season. So, but I mean, the people who we've even met fans at the game. We've met viewers. We've met staff. The many amount of friends we've met over the last year is just phenomenal. And if any of you are listening, thank you for your friendship. I really do appreciate it, and we're looking forward to next season because it's going to be a good season next season. And we're definitely renewing our season tickets for next year. And we're going to be going there as much as we can next year. So it's been a fun season, Lewis, hasn't it?
Can we talk about the thing when we left at the wrong time?
Yes. Well, basically what happened was at the end of the last home game, which was the first game of the playoffs, basically to qualify. They were going. They got presented the league trophy, and we normally get the train back home, but then we had to get the train home earlier than expected. There's normally a later train home, but that night there wasn't, and we had to get the earlier train. Our friends Liz, Matthew, and Gaza all went up to try and meet the players and stuff afterwards, because a lot of players do come up after the game and take pictures and do a few signings and stuff like that there. And what did they come up with, Liz?
The league trophy.
The league trophy. Absolutely heartbroken. We've had our photograph taken with the Challenge Cup. We won it, the conference title wouldn't really worry about that, but the main one's the league title. So I would love to get my picture with that, but hopefully sooner rather than later we do get our photograph taken with it. But overall, I'm going to let you go now, Liz, because you need to go and get ready for bed for tomorrow. Hockey season's been good, hasn't it?
Yes.
It has.
Yes, it really has.
And before you go, anything else you want to say to anybody again before you leave about your birthday messages and stuff like that? Because I know you're really over the moon with that.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, as Lewis out of here. He's exhausted, so he is, and he's away on. But thanks, Lewis, for coming in tonight.
See you later.
He's away. Be quiet now, because your sister's in bed. Yeah, that's Lewis away now, guys. But thanks to him coming in. But yeah, moving on. In closing, I think Jan's even. What a season! I mean, the friends that we've made and the times that we've had over the last season has been fantastic. Even some of the nights out I've had with some of the guys after some of the games and stuff, it's been fun. So it has. It really has been fun. What a season, and hopefully more success coming forward now. But anyway, moving on, guys. This past Sunday was the biggest day of the wrestling calendar. I don't know why a lot of you are wrestling fans, but I certainly am. It was WrestleMania 35 from MetLife Stadium, the place we were supposed to go to, but obviously we couldn't get to this year. We're planning to go to next year. But yeah, WrestleMania 35, we done a special reaction video where my brother Tony came round and Brooke set up, because Brooke didn't have any school on Monday, so we set up. Lewis didn't get to see it till the next day. It was an okay show. I expected it to be a little bit better. A few shocks. Obviously the way the women's main event ended, because they were plugging it for weeks as the first ever women's main event of WrestleMania. Didn't end the way I expected it to end. It ended with obviously the person who wanted to win, but it didn't end the way I expected it to end. But it was still good. And the fact is that we now finally, after all these years, have the first African American WWE champion. So we do. So which is a big surprise. A lot of people weren't expecting it, but it has finally happened. But it was an okay show. I mean, some of the matches weren't overly great, but we had fun. Even though the next morning I was dying, didn't get to bed till 9 o'clock the next morning because I couldn't go to bed because the show wasn't over until near 6, and I had to get up to take Lewis to school. So, but I mean, I could talk about WrestleMania all night and go through the card and stuff, but I'm not going to on the podcast. But I mean, it was a pretty decent show. And apart from one thing I did see on Twitter though, some guy paid $20 for a ticket. Now they did say on it, when he bought his ticket saying restricted viewing. You obviously think to yourself, okay, you're far away or something like that, so it's restricted viewing. But when I say restricted viewing, his seat was basically behind the big giant screen where the competitors come out of, and he couldn't even hardly eat in half of a ring. So I mean, at least if he's seen the ring, it'd be okay. But he didn't really see that, so it's been floating around obviously the last few days. And one other thing that did happen before WrestleMania weekend, which obviously hit the world by shock, and obviously was around all the different news stations throughout the world, was a lot of people there might not know this, but Bret the Hitman Hart, who was a very, very popular wrestler during the 80s and 90s, was getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame on the Friday night for the second time. This time as part of a tag team that he was in, and he was on the stage with his niece, who was the daughter of his tag team partner, who unfortunately passed away last summer. His daughter too is a wrestler in the WWE at the moment, and they were on stage accepted, and obviously their speech and stuff like that, and some absolute, I don't even want to swear on the podcast, guys, but some balloon head jumped through the rail and ran into the stage in the stroke ring area where they were accepting their induction into the Hall of Fame, and tackled Bret Hart, who's now in his 60s, who is a cancer survivor, a stroke survivor, and obviously has his other issues. and tackled the man to the ground. And obviously with Natalia, or Natty, the daughter of the other inductee into the Hall of Fame, to the ground, and this guy basically got his ass kicked as he was dragged away by security and fellow wrestlers. Watching it live, I was disgusted. I mean, I've met Bret Hart beforehand in Dublin, and Bret was a lovely guy, and to see that happening to him live, obviously this ass was trying to make a name for himself and trying to get himself noticed, but basically he got his ass kicked as he was being dragged out by security and police by fellow wrestlers. I mean, for example, a video appeared online with a wrestler actually punching him in the face, which he kind of deserved, to be quite honest. But again, shocking to see that. I'm disgusted with that, obviously, but things people do in this world now, they're just makes me so cross. But overall, WrestleMania weekend wasn't a bad event at all, and some matches could have been better, but obviously they weren't. But let's move on, guys, to before we get into the emails and stuff this week. I want to talk about a little trip that I had a couple of days ago there to Liverpool. Hence why I've named this podcast Champions League, or sorry, I can't remember what the full name of it was. European trip to Liverpool, or Champions League football night in Liverpool, whatever it was called. It's been a long day, guys, and I have to re-record this podcast again, as I said to you. But anyway, yes, I travelled out from Belfast there on Tuesday morning. I was starting to get a little bit weary and panicky, should we say, leading into this flight. Now, I'll tell you the reason why, and cut a long story short. Leading up into the flight, I was hearing in the news a few days beforehand, and I was actually talking to Flybe directly on Twitter and by email and also by telephone. They were cancelling a lot of flights from Belfast to Manchester and Manchester to Belfast due to a shortage of pilots, which is a little bit frustrating when you're going to be in an upcoming flight going to a game which you've bought a ticket for, and obviously a hotel and stuff. So I'm still worried and panicky. But when I got to the airport in Belfast, my flight was on time and I managed to fly no problems, which was a big relief. But got to Liverpool, and so I got to Manchester, then got the train to Liverpool, went to the game, which I'll talk about in just a second, and then time to come home. Got up the next morning bright and early, had a shower, got some breakfast, which, by the way, the B&B we stayed in was just B&B I stayed in was just top notch. The staff are great, the place is awesome, it's a great room. I actually put some of the footage in one of the recent vlogs to show you. Didn't show you everything like that, but I'll probably show you more of it maybe in another vlog. But it was a great place to stay in. But anyway, getting back to the story at hand, back to the Manchester airport the next morning bright and early, thinking, right, okay, I'll be home for about 11 o'clock and I'll be home in time for the kids coming home from school. Gets to the airport to be told that my flight was cancelled. So yeah, there you go. How am I getting home? Thinking to myself, right, what's going on here? Did I even stand there for 20 minutes or so? There was a lot of angry customers, including myself. Excuse me while I blow my nose here a sec. Apologies, as I said, I'm trying to get a bit of a cold, which sucks. But what can you do? You got to do a podcast for the viewers, Anyway, sorry if I do sound a little bit crap this week, guys, on the podcast. I will sound better next week, trust me. Anyway, how the hell I'm going to survive Dublin tomorrow, I'll never know. But anyway, gets to the airport, finally bring us back to the desk and say, right, guys, listen, we can't get you any more flights until 5 past 5 tonight. Now, this was like 9:30 in the morning. I was like, what the hell am I going to do for like 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever? What am I going to do? I know what I'll do. I'll head off and get on a wee train down the road here and see if I can go somewhere. And I did. I went around a little place not too far from one of the train stations in Manchester, so I was trying to hang around that wee area for a wee bit and stuff like that, and got myself a bit of lunch and done a few bits and pieces and stuff like that there, so it was pretty good. Apologies again, I honestly, goodness me, see this having a cold pillar, it does my head in. It's not that often I get sick too, but anyway, got a soldier on. So it gets back to the airport, and to be told by another guy who was like going around telling all our customers, oh yeah, this our flight back home's cancelled. And I'm going to myself, what the hell am I going to do here? How am I going to get home tonight? Plus the fact that I've got mum on the phone going, hey, you want to get home? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, mum, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I started saying to myself, right, okay, what am I going to do here? But if I have to stay, you know, I was thinking to myself, hang on a wee second here. I'm in Manchester Airport, and the train station is just below it. I could get a 2-minute train journey up the road. And a lot of you Liverpool fans are thinking, what the hell is he doing? Barcelona were playing Manchester United 5 minutes down the road. I could try and get myself a ticket and go to that game, another Champions League game while I'm here. But then I found out at about 2:15 that the flight was still going ahead. So, the moral of the story is, guys, Flybe have cancelled a lot of their flights recently due to a shortage of pilots, which left a lot of unhappy customers. Now, obviously, I was a victim of that there, coming back home, but lucky enough it wasn't going over, which was a good thing. But I hope Flybe can get this matter resolved, because a lot of customers are angry and very, very frustrated. I haven't checked their social media account since I flew home yesterday, so I'm going to have to take another look at that and see if the matter is resolved again, because I am flying with them again next week to Birmingham to go to Solihull for my friend Chris's wedding. So I'm kind of hoping that everything's sorted out, because I want to get over in time for his wedding. And if I don't, I think I'll be really pissed off. So here's hoping that Flybe get their act together and get this matter resolved. So fingers crossed. But the trip to Liverpool, guys, was good. Had a good time. Liverpool won 2-0. Should have been more than 2-0, to be quite honest. Not a great performance in the second half, but we got there in the end. 2-0 lead to take over to Portugal next week for the return leg. Get into the semi-finals, hopefully the Champions League. It's looking like at the minute it's going to be Barcelona, because they defeated Manchester United last night. So it looks like it could be a Barcelona-Liverpool semi-final. Lewis is determined to get tickets. He's on my back about it. Daddy, we got to get tickets. I really want to see Messi play, especially at Anfield, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Lewis, there's nothing I can do about it, son. At the end of the day, I can try and get tickets, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But we'll see. But we'll see how it goes. But you never know. Liverpool might even get to the semi-final. Things could happen in Porto. We are quite confident, though, that we will get there. Fingers crossed. But that's the plan. You know, we'd love to get to it. But I did say to Lewis, it looks like it's going to be a hospitality ticket if we do. And the hospitality ticket for that game is probably going to cost about the access of about £200 a ticket, which I don't really want to pay, to be quite honest. But anyway, good trip. Liverpool won. Matchday vlog is up on the YouTube channel. I also done a video for that Liverpool TV out there as well, which is shared on my social media feeds, which are in the link in the description on this podcast here on YouTube. If you want to go and check it out, I retweeted it and also shared it on the fans Facebook page. So if you want to go and check it out, you can certainly do that, because it is there for you to view. So anyway, I'm going to get into your emails this week, and also your messages that you've been sending me over the last sort of week or so since the last podcast, guys. And I did say this on my YouTube channel, the vlog, about people constantly contacting me for Liverpool tickets and stuff like that, guys. I've asked on the video and stuff, please stop asking me for Liverpool tickets. I don't sell Liverpool tickets. At the end of the day, I find it difficult myself to get tickets, but at the end of the day, guys, I've already explained. If people watch the video, I'll say to you to stop asking for tickets, because at the end of the day, guys, I still find it difficult to get tickets for myself. So a lot of people have been emailing me asking for tickets and things like that. So I did explain it. So if you go and watch that video, you'll be able to see it yourself. So there you go. That's pretty much the bottom line. Okay, I've got one in here from Judith. Where's she from? Does she say where she's from? No, she doesn't actually. Okay. Just says she came across our channel recently. Her and her husband were just sitting flicking through their smart TV one night on YouTube and came across our channel. They absolutely love our videos. They go on here saying that Matthew, you're a great dad. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that. And they said that they love our videos and they've been going back and watching all our videos, and they've noticed throughout the last 3 years that the videos have got better and the production quality is a lot better, and they enjoy them every day. Well, thank you very much for that email. I really do appreciate it. And thank you for your kind words saying about maybe obviously Bergen Lewis. So thank you very much for that. I really do appreciate that. I've one here from, let's have a look here. There's many. Nicholas. Yeah, Nicholas. who, but the looks of things here, is a big Arsenal fan. He pretty much goes on to say here, big Arsenal fan. Looks, he was at the game actually, Christmas time. He said the game I was at Christmas time where Arsenal played Liverpool at Anfield, where Liverpool won 5-1. He said he was at the game himself, and he wishes he had a knew I was there. And it's a whole big, it's a big rant here, guys. Pretty much said he watches the vlogs every day, and he's from the outskirts of both the outskirts, well, they say here the outskirts of London, but it doesn't say exactly where. But Nicholas, if you're listening to the podcast, thank you very much for your email. I really do appreciate it. I've got one here from Cole, who is from, let's have a look here and see. Cole is from Lancaster. That's where I was the other day. Right that area anyway. Cole says, not a big Liverpool fan as I support Chelsea. Okay, you're a Chelsea fan. Fair enough. Do you think Chelsea will ever win the league again anytime soon? Well, the way they have a ban at the minute for recent transfer ban at the minute as well, and it also looks like your main player is going to be leaving at the end of the season, Eden Hazard, to see them win the title. Not at the minute, to be quite honest with you. But in saying that, there we're playing you on Sunday, a big game, so it'll be interesting because he does ask me here what I think the score predictions are going to be for Sunday. Honestly, I would love to see us win. A lot of people are saying it's going to be a draw, but I'm going to have to stick with my guns and say a win for Liverpool. A lot of people who were saying to me, actually, yesterday I was talking to a few boys at the game, they were saying that Chelsea apparently are going to be the ones who are going to come to Anfield and do Liverpool in and beat them and cause them the title, like they did a few years ago whenever Gerrard slipped and Demba Ba ran through and scored the goal that basically ended Liverpool's title challenge back in 2014. So, yeah, Cole, thanks for your email once again. I really do appreciate it. I'll go to Instagram here and see, because I do get quite a lot of messages on Instagram, which, by the way, guys, you can follow me on my new Instagram page, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. I'll have a look here and see any type of messages that I'm able to flick through here. I see a lot of people are asking me for these tickets, guys. It's really irritating after a while. We see Woodsy Boy 123 sent me a message on Saturday past week. Says, what's your opinion on Steven Gerrard's performance at Rangers so far? Honestly, I would like to see Stevie do well up there. Apparently it's a bit of a mixed reaction from a lot of Rangers fans at the minute. I know a lot of Rangers fans personally from here in Northern Ireland who want him to succeed as well. I would like to see him succeed, but my personal opinion of it is he does need a bit of time. He does need a bit of time because it's only his first season, well, big season in management, to be quite honest. So yeah, it's just all I can say is just give him a bit of time. Would I like to see him succeed? Absolutely. Whatever. People have always asked me as well, would you like him to be the Liverpool manager someday? Yeah, because he is Liverpool through and through. You know, it's just like with Stevie Gerrard as a manager. Even my dream to have Klopp and him as a team at Anfield, but I don't know whether it would ever happen or not. But well, I think he's getting on Rangers. I'd love to see him succeed because, you know, he is driven and he is a type of person who wants to succeed. It's just a pity that he didn't actually win the league title with Liverpool. I mean, it's been a long time in coming. I mean, 29 years is kind of a long time, to be honest with you. But I would like to see Stevie do well. So what I really, really would. Okay, guys, another one here from Owen Collins, 2702. Yes. He says here, hi Matthew, it's Owen. I'm a top viewer, and it's good to see you're getting over the hard few months that you've been through. You're a super dad, and your kids don't listen to anyone who are haters towards your channel. You're a good guy and a really good bloke. And he also asks me where my other cat was. I don't even think I mentioned that, guys, but my little cat Stitch. If you don't know, I do have two cats, and Chloe and Stitch, which Stitch disappeared for almost a week. Don't know where he was, but your cats are like boy cats or boy cats, tomcats as they're called. They like to disappear and go and do their own thing, and I don't know where he was been, but he's back and he's grand. So, but thank you for your message. And yes, it has been a hard few months. And it's getting even worse now with this bloody cold. Yeah, it has been a hard few months, guys. As you probably know if you follow the vlogs, it's been quite a tough few months. With my divorce coming through before Christmas. Obviously, Andrea and I breaking up last October. After being together for 3.5 years, which is a bit of a hard one as well to deal with, and also other things going on too as well. And then obviously all the other stuff that was going about, and all the haters, and dealing with bullies and cyber bullies, and little boys who think they're funny and trying to target us as a family, and people who have nothing else better to do to sit behind a keyboard and create a load of lies and stories and bull, and post it all over the internet, saying stuff about a family from Northern Ireland who basically do videos for fun. So yeah, it's a cruel world out there, and everybody has their challenges and stuff, but the last few months have been bad, and I'm getting there. I am getting there, guys. It is taking time, because it has been a hard sort of 5-6 years for Brooke Lewis now, and obviously with myself and their mum obviously breaking up nearly 6 years ago, and getting divorced and stuff, which was pretty hard on the three of us. Still affects us this day, of course, like, but we try and get up and get on with it, and just sort of try and be positive, and try and, as I think I said to you before in the vlog, there was days I even find hard to get up in the mornings and even turn the camera on. But again, it's you guys out there who keep me going every day. I mean, all your messages that you send me, you think I don't read them, but I do read them, guys. I do sit down and read them, and I read your emails sometimes, and some of the emails that I get is just heartwarming. So it is. It's really, really heartwarming, and I do appreciate all your messages and support, and it just goes to show you that there is not a lot of nasty people out there, but there's also people out there who actually do care. And for the people who do care, and for the people who come up to me in the street and say, "Hey Matthew, how are you?" and things like that, that just means the world to me. So it does, and I do appreciate it every day, every single day. And I may not reply to all the messages, because obviously I get that many on a daily basis. This is taking our drink here to try and clear my throat, because I think my cold's getting worse here. 2 secs. Oh, that water tastes so good. Swig of water for the working man, as Stone Cold always says on his podcast. But anyway, I hope it sounds a lot better next week, guys, in the podcast. I'll probably sound like a miserably dreary fart today. But yes, to answer that question again, yes, I am doing okay at the moment. I am getting there. There is days, guys, where it's hard, where I even find it hard to get up out of bed in the mornings and go and do my thing that I do off camera. It's just, you have to get on with it. It's just one of those things. And excuse me, a lot of people out there who don't like us email me all the time and message me on social media and stuff and say, "Oh yeah, why do you make videos for? You're a sad old such and such and all." It doesn't even bother me anymore. It just makes me laugh. They're trying to drag me down, even though they know I'm down. But at the end of the day, guys, I have the two most important things in my life that keeps me going every day. Well, three most should I say 4 most important things: my parents, Brooke, Lewis, and the other one that keeps me going is you guys. You guys keep me going every day too. And if I didn't have Brooke and Lewis in my life, and I didn't have you guys, and I didn't have my parents, I actually don't know where I would be right now. And that's just being totally honest with you. But anyway, I could talk about that all night, but I'm not going to, because you know why, guys? I'm going to go because I sound like a miserable old fart about 95 with a really dreary voice with this cold. And I'm going to go and stick my head into a basin of hot water and Vic to try and kill this cold off for tomorrow, because I'm going to Dublin in the morning. So I am. So, guys, thank you all for all your support, for your messages this week towards me again. I do appreciate it. That is going to bring it to the end of this podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast here on YouTube, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe below if you want to stick around for daily vlogs. And more podcasts, and also hit the post notification bell to get notified on the channel every single time as well, guys. So stay tuned for the Dublin vlogs tomorrow. Also, next week, we've got some more stuff going on too as well. Next week's podcast, we've also got myself going to Birmingham next week to fly to Birmingham. And then obviously go to Solihull to my friend Chris's wedding, which I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to see Chris again. Chris and I go back, my good 10 years. Back in the days where we used to do professional wrestling together. We used to wrestle together. That's how I met Chris. Chris came along as a very young kid back in those days to train to be a wrestler. Our training school we had in Bangor, in the wrestling company we used to have. I'll tell you a few stories about Chris actually in next week's podcast leading up to his wedding. Well, I just can't wait to see him. It's good fun. I miss a lot of my old friends from the wrestling days, but more on that. We'll talk about that another time down the road. But anyway, guys, yes, sorry for sounding like like an old husky old man who is tired. And thank you to Lewis for coming on for a little bit, even though he's a little bit overexcited tonight. Like he's just tired, to be quite honest with you. And by the time this podcast is finished, he's probably sleeping now. So guys, once again, thank you so much for your support. I love every one of you. Do appreciate all your love and support every day. And until next week's podcast, guys, stay tuned for the vlogs, as always, here on the channel. And until next week's podcast, thank you for listening once again. And I'll sound a lot better next week, I promise you. See you all next week, guys. Thanks for listening.